What's your understanding of the American dream? Is this fame, money, a lavish life? Is this what being rich is all about? If so, then what's that magic number of being rich? And once you hit that number, are you considered rich in the US? See, those are all the questions I had on my quest to find that magic number or the net worth. So in this video, I'll go over what I found out on the net worth that is considered rich in the US. But the main question is, have I been able to earn that right to consider myself as one? Defining rich isn't just a one-size-fits-all deal, but if you think the statement sounds too vague, Schwab's 2023 Modern Wealth Survey suggests that Americans need around $2.2 million average net worth for that label. Out of the 1,000 Americans who took part in this survey, nearly half of them said they feel wealthy with around $560,000 net worth. As you can see, being rich is subjective. The survey did show some people feel wealthy just by not worrying about money or just have more than most people they know. Speaking for myself, when I dreamt of being rich, for me, it wasn't about material wealth, like fancy cars or long summer vacations. It was about achieving a stable and fulfilling life. When I moved here, adapting to a new culture in the US was a major challenge. As a young adult, I had to mature very quickly, facing the culture shock head on. As we were young, we all desired the finer things, but my vision extended beyond that, a life without constant worry about day-to-day living costs. Because at that time, I was struggling. For me, at that time, being rich was just about making ends meet without any worry. Do I enjoy finer things in life? You bet your bottom dollar I do. But at that point of my life, those were just luxury. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it did feel far-fetched. It wasn't about the immediate success. Rather, it was a gradual process of growth, learning, and hard work. That's my American dream. But how was I going to achieve that? I lacked distinct skill set initially, which made monetizing my abilities a crucial first step. But which abilities? I didn't feel like I had any. Hi, my name is Tasvir Mirza. I'm a realtor and a diversified investor, and on this channel, I make finance videos to find the American dream. Like the video if you're on your quest to build your American dream just like me. Now, achieving the American dream of financial prosperity and a generous net worth, that's your asset minus liabilities, is like navigating a roller coaster of highs and lows. As I said before, the idea of being rich is as diverse as the country itself, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach. However, there are a few things we must consider when it comes to reaching the net worth and being considered rich. First things first, we can't talk about wealth in a vacuum. Your location plays a crucial role. Where do you live? In an expensive neighborhood? Maybe somewhere far from the public transportation? Going to work for you means driving or Ubering most weekdays, while some places boast a lower cost of living, affordable homes, and friendlier taxes. Others, like bustling cities like New York, Los Angeles, or even sunny state of Florida, can quickly devour your paycheck. For example, for $1 million, you can afford to buy a single-family house in Florida. But in New York, it will get you a closet, a walk-in if you can really negotiate. It's all about finding that sweet spot where your earnings aligns with your lifestyle. Speaking of lifestyle, your priorities will shape your perception of wealth. If you're living a high life with fancy cars, luxurious homes, and exotic vacations, your definition of being rich might require a heftier bank account. On the flip side, a more modest lifestyle can redefine what financial success means to you. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses. It's finding your unique path. So what's the plan for finding that path and reaching the goal? For me, to reach my goal required planning. Lots and lots of planning. And that's when the first roadblock of my story showed up: debts. In all of our pursuit of finding financial stability or being rich, personal debt has become a significant player. Remember, net worth is asset minus liabilities. Amidst these challenges, making a solid financial plan and sticking to it has proven to be a valuable strategy. Now remember, I said valuable, not easy strategy. But don't worry, it's not impossible. But one thing that is impossible to do is to grow this channel without your support. Join the community by subscribing below. At my early days, I lacked any skills to be monetized, or so I thought. I was still in a culture shock and was finding myself. At that time, the only way I was able to conquer my American dream was to monetize my time and find what skill I possess, which has value. Keep my head above the water was the most important task at that time. Being able to save at that time felt like a luxury, but as I was understanding money and its characters, I realized it's not hard as it sounds. Let's be honest, keeping track of every cent for 3 months straight can seem like a really big challenge. especially if you don't have an automatic system to help. The idea of being super careful with your spending might not sound like much fun for those who are eager to start budgeting, but a budget is like your own map to your net worth goal. Instead of getting bogged down in the nitty-gritty of every penny, start with a broad stroke approach. Get a handle on your income, pay down the major expenses like rent, utilities, internet, and the whole shebang. Think of it as a financial reconnaissance mission. Sure, you may not be documenting every lunch or impulse buy, and that's perfectly okay. The key is getting the general grasp of your financial landscape. If your spending matches or is less than what you earn, you're on the right track. If not, it's time to be a little bit more careful with your spending and reevaluating things. For instance, keeping track of your receipts and expenses for a month might seem like a lot of detailed work. The conventional advice often nudges us towards spreadsheets and paperwork, but there are easier ways nowadays. There are so many user-friendly apps out now that can do all the heavy lifting of tracking and categorizing and assisting in shaping a budget. Remember, this financial journey is a mix of highs and lows, but with a savvy budget, you'll be well on your way to conquering the American dream. I had to remember another important thing, using credit cards. We all deal with the choice between cash and card, and it's a bit tricky. Study shows that using cash instead of credit card can help control how much money we spend. But let's be honest, handling cash can make it harder to keep track of your spending when you're trying to stick to a tight budget. Let me give you a quirky yet effective strategy known as the envelope method. Here's how it works. At the start of every month, you take out the spending money and divide it into envelopes. When your grocery envelope runs out of money, that's your signal to be a little bit more frugal until the next month. Of course, you can dip into other envelopes in case of emergencies. If managing multiple envelopes sounds complicated, you can try the digital version, known as the sub-account at your bank. It's a segregated account nested under the larger account. At the most basic level, a sub-account can be thought of an account within an account. Consider this sub-account your digital envelope. After all, life is just not about envelopes and sticky notes. Some monthly bills like rent, car payment, and utilities are better handled directly through your bank account. Here's how to use this method. Set aside a certain amount of money for flexible and random expenses. Imagine it as your allowance for the adult world. You don't have to analyze every latte or dinner you enjoy. Instead, let the cash be your guide for your everyday spending. The key here is to keep track of your spending. That method gave me the freedom to choose how often I wanted to set my spending pace, whether it's weekly or every 2 weeks, or even monthly, just aligning with your major bills. Lastly, I want to talk about investing, a smart habit I'm glad I picked up at a very early age. The sooner you start, the more it will grow, thanks to the power of compound interest. Now, if you're in your 30s and worry that investing is a tough task, don't let that hold you back. It is not too late to start investing. Waiting until you're 40 is like waiting for the perfect time to water the plant. It's better to start now, but starting later is better than not starting at all. Now, as far as me, if I earn the right to consider myself as rich from the Schwab survey, I'm far away from it. But where I'm at, I'm comfortable. Isn't it what being rich is all about? One way you can achieve your American dream sooner is by investing. But how do you know that if you're ready to start investing? This video will tell you. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for hanging out with me. See you in the next video.